Hello and welcome to my channel on human design, and in particular we're going to be looking at the transit weather forecast for the next week beginning today. So today is Monday the 25th. And when I say today, please understand that I'm using a universal time calculator, so please readjust for wherever you are in the world, because some of you are behind me, some of you are before me. So it depends on where you are to exactly when this kicks in. However, the general theme, the themes that I'm going to go through will apply to everybody. Okay, so there are a number of interesting things that are happening today on Monday the 25th. The first thing to understand is that we've got going into the moon, the drive in the background field is in the sixth gate. So the sixth gate is in the solar plexus. It is really wanting to express itself. It's feelings that want to get through the barrier and, be received by someone who is there for the intimacy, to be able to support them in whatever that may be. Now, it could, of course, be emotional feelings that are not being shared. And you need to think about that as well. What is you're being driven by feelings perhaps that you can't express? Is that going on? It's in the moon, so the moon is between 8 to 12 hours in its movement. So it does move on. It's a regular thing. We're being driven by the moon on different topics every day, and of course twice a day, in fact. So in this case, it's the sixth gate. What is going on with the feelings? Are they ready to come out? Are they being held back? The other change that today brings is in Venus. So Venus is about our values. What are the values that we're going to be looking at during this time? And of course, Venus goes on for a few days. It's in the 54th gate. So this is about ambition. It's about wanting to rise up through the material and spiritual ladder. It's looking to see where the potential is in your life around you. What has potential? What is that special thing that can move you on, can help your life? What is the potential? Who has the potential around me? What are the opportunities perhaps that are arising from what I'm looking at through the internet or what I come across as I go through my week? And bearing in mind, this is against the bigger background energy, which we've already seen last week, which is the channel of charisma. So busy, 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 trying to get your thing done, whatever that might be. Get out of my way. I'm a manifesting generator and I want to get this done. What is it that you really love to do with your energy? What is the hard work that you are involved in building something that is meaningful to you? Later on in the day, the moon moves from the 6th into the 46th gate. So perhaps those feelings got out in some way, or you moved through the emotional nervousness of whatever that might have been. And you're now in the 46th. So the 46th in the drive is really about expanding. It's about the love of the body, but it's also about the way that we expand through experiences. So perhaps the drive there will be to look at the body. Are you looking after your body? Are you expanding in some experience where you don't know exactly where it's going, but you're growing it in some way? These are the themes that will be coming up. On top of that, there is also a change in the Mercury. So Mercury is about how we communicate. And here we have the 11th gate. So this is going to be abstract ideas, possibilities, how to live a larger than life. Now, the 11th gate is a gate of philosophies and ideas and possibilities. So again, there may be the communication of new philosophies, that can be more appropriate to us in our lives. Ideas that can be meaningful for us, meaningful enough to share. And because Mercury is a fast-moving planet, but slower than the moon, it is going to continue for a few days. So there'll be a lot of sharing of different abstract ideas, new perspectives to look at, or old perspectives, should I say, as well. It could be like, well, let's look at this according to what we already know. So the 11th gate really wants its ideas to be listened to. It can be a great teacher gate. It can be a gate about how to teach through anecdotes and through story and through bringing people into the adventure of whatever it is. So Mercury in the 11th gate, that should be really interesting. I like that, especially as I have the 56 in my chart. I'll be thinking about things and new ideas. There's no doubt about that. There's also retrograde movement in Jupiter. Now, I don't usually mention Jupiter because it's a slow-moving planet, and its influence is, again, to expand us. But it's been in the 45-2 for quite a while, and now it's going to the 45-1. So there's a retrograde, a returning in that sense. The King Gate, the Queen Gate, it's about what you possess, what you don't possess, what you may want. But it's also about education. And it's also about gathering people together. And here we're retrograding back to canvassing in order to gather people together. Now, I hate to be corny about it, but it does occur to me that we are heading towards Christmas. And I imagine there is a lot of people thinking about, how can I get more people for my special offers or whatever it may be? And again, that might be something, in fact, that will be something that's happening around the world at the moment. But I just wanted to point out to you, there is this change. You can also look at the 45-1 as really digging deep into what is yours, what is your territory, what is your base of operation, where your market is, what is it that you do own and don't own. As we've got ambition in the 54, it could be like, well, I want this as well. I haven't got this. I need to do something. I need to move on so that I can have what I want. There could be also that theme going on. The 26th on Tuesday brings in another moon change, of course, and the 18 is again turning up there. This is critical awareness. This is, well, there's something wrong in the pattern. What is it? That's wrong. We need to fix that. Who's going to fix it? Now, we've already got the 18 moving in the nodal path. So this is like a double 18, a lot more critical awareness coming in as a drive to all of us. That critical awareness really coming in during the early part of the day on the 26th. Something for us to look at. What can be improved, for example. And there is possibly some development for that, because later on, the moon goes into the 48, which is this natural movement from correcting things, getting the perfected patterns, and then making them into a logical solution or a potential logical solution. The depth of logical solutions in the 48. How can it be applied in the real world? Is this an answer? Is it a methodology? Is it a technique that you've found that you can perhaps utilize? The awareness to how can I utilize a particular logical solution or a more functional aspect to my life based on the corrections that we've already been looking at, and at the same time. So I like that. I like that natural movement from the 18 to the 48. Of course, it can also be the sense of inadequacy. Who am I to do this? Have I got what it takes? Am I enough? Or is the new technology, perhaps, is that going to do the job? It can be thinking like this as well. When we come to Wednesday, the moon changes into the 57. So this is intuitive awareness that comes in, and we've already got the charisma channel. So it's adding awareness to the busyness that is going on, intuition coming in and, cutting to the core of the moment of what really is going on, the knowing intuition that just blossoms out of us without any reason. It's this that can really make a huge difference to bring awareness into what we're actually doing. And on the same day, we have the 11th gate of endless ideas leaving and the 26th coming in, the gate of the egoist, the will to promote, the will to be proud, the will to go, I will promote this for you, or how can I promote what I'm doing into the world? Again, marketing. You can think about it in terms of marketing. You can think about it in terms of being the truth teller or the liar, checking in to see if the claims being made are valid or not. Could be another way of looking at it. So the 26th now coming into Mercury will be with us for a few days. And again, looking at our marketing, looking at what is being said, is it true or not? Is this a person who can market what I'm doing? It could also be connected with finding someone who can help you with your business if that's relevant to you. And a final note on the 27th is the 54th gate, this potential, this pressure to rise up is moving into the 4th line. Now, the 54 in the 4th line, the Alpha and the Omega, the end and the beginning, enlightenment, endarkenment. This is the most mystical of all the lines in the I Ching. Now, it's something that you may not notice. It's something that may not show itself, but there is always this possibility of the mystical in the mundane and the transformation within the normal life that can come. So there's an opportunity here in Venus for us if we look. So on the 27th, be a little bit more alert to what is going on in terms of the wider life, if I call it that. Later on in that day, the 57 leaves and in comes the 32. Now, the 32 will join with our 54, and therefore we have a definition in the background field of transformation. So not only the pressure to rise up with the 54, but also the fear of failure in the 32. What if we don't succeed? What if we fail? The thinking here will be about, what do I invest in? What do I need to keep? What do I need to get rid of? What do I need to bring in that is different, is new, that will help me to succeed? So it's quite a conservative awareness gate, not wanting to change too many things all at once, and yet at the same time being able to be adaptable, certainly in the movement through the 32, to be more adaptable to change, to make the necessary changes, to make the necessary investments in order to succeed. When we come to Thursday, there's a big change. The channel of charisma disappears after being with us for some time. All that busy energy then leaves, and it's replaced in the background field with the 9 in the sun and the 16 in the earth. So the 9 is the energy to really go into the small details, to really focus. It's an intensity, a sacral intensity that comes in, being involved with the small details. And at the same time, the 16 is there as a kind of discerning voice, not quite to my taste. We need to change it this much, It's also about skills. Have we got the skilled people to handle the details, to deal with things at that degree of discrimination, at that degree of fineness, perhaps? So again, the 9 and the 16 are going to be with us for some time. And, you're going to be looking at the details. You're going to be looking at who has the skills. Where can you get the information about certain things, perhaps? Perhaps there is a course that you're going to get involved with now that has the things that you're going to need for your movement on in the world. So an interesting shift, and you're probably going to feel it energetically in the background field, that busy energy has now gone through and passed out of the background field. And here we have more detail, we have more logic, we have more discernment, we have more incremental movements in terms of moving forward with our life. You know, the 19 and the 16 are both logical. They're forward projected aspects that come into the world. We'll be thinking about the future and the details and whether it's to our taste or not. And it's interesting when we look at the moon that comes in with this change in the sun, the earth, we have the 50th gate, the gate of responsibility, the fear of responsibility, or the ability to be responsible, a tribal gate, and a tribal gate in the moon, driving us to look at what do we hold to be true in terms of the values that are like laws in us. Well, a lot of people don't have the 50th gate. So if I put it in another way, if I say, well, are you going to look at your lifestyle? This may be a time to be driven to look at your lifestyle. Is it really healthy? Is it really supporting you? Is it really the lifestyle of other people? Is it supporting them? Also, in terms of the 50th gate, bearing in mind it's tribal, bearing in mind the 45 is also tribal and still there in the background field. It could be a way of us thinking, okay, well, how can I herd people into my club in some way or another? Got to say, it is coming up to Christmas. And when Friday comes in, we have the 44. So the 44 in the moon brings in the transmitter energy for a little while. Again, what are you putting out? How are you putting it out? How are you managing your business, managing the people in your life? All these are going to be questions that will be coming up for between 8 and 10 hours during this time. And again, you know, how to market things, how to get things out there, how to promote things. Later on Friday, we have the first gate coming into the moon. So this is the creative. This is creative self-expression. It's a beautiful gate. It's a very strong gate, wanting to really express the unique beauty or the uniqueness that is within us, how to really express it. And because the 8th gate is already there, the 8th gate of the agent to the artist is already there, this could be a time when we're thinking about going our own way, doing things differently, doing things creatively differently, you know, taking control of your own life and going, well, I'm going to do this even though no one else is doing it because I want to go in that direction. Those influences could be coming in. At the same time, we get a retro movement in the nodes. In the nodal path, in the road that we've been going down, we've had the 17 and the 18 for some time. And it's been moving in the second line. Well, now it goes back to the first line. So again, looking at the logic of things, looking at whether things are really being corrected and is the work really being done? Are the ideas that we thought to be true, is there more evidence perhaps coming that makes us think in a different way? I do think that's a possibility that will really come in as well. Again, it's going to be going on for some time. Still the 17, still the 18, but now in the first line, in the investigative line, in the digging deep line, trying to see what is strong, what is weak in terms of the patterns in the way that we're moving towards our future. Also, in the latter part of Friday, there is a change in terms of Venus, where we've been looking at ambition and rising up and moving on with our lives. We now have this change into the 61. So this is thinking about the mysteries, thinking about the patterns behind things, thinking perhaps about esoteric information and how that might be useful or interesting or inspiring. So hidden information, occult knowledge, thinking outside of the box in an inspirational way. These are things that are going to be impacting us as well, which quite frankly, I rather love because I like esoteric information and I like digging into what has been hidden. So I shall be very happy to be thinking in that way, and indeed I will be. On Saturday, the first gate moves away, so the channel of the creative inspiration leaves, and instead we're taking into the 43rd gate, the gate of unique insights. So this movement with the 61 the previous day, and now the 43 with the moon there, focusing on unique insights, perhaps more efficient ways of doing things, certainly original ideas, original insights may suddenly be appearing with this drive in the moon at the beginning of the 30th. Later on in that day, on Saturday, we have the 14. The 43 then moves out and the 14 comes in. This is a power gate. This is a power to do something. This is a power to empower a beautiful vision. This is putting your money where your mouth is. So you might be going through all the thinking of individual ways. Well, maybe if you do it differently, maybe it could be more beautiful. Maybe we could add that, and now it's the moment of, okay, what are we going to do? Let's put our energy into it. Let's put our money where our mouth is and get going with it. Let's build something from this. And on Sunday, the moon moves into the 9th gate. So we've already got the 9th gate there. In the sun, we've now got the 9th gate coming in the moon. Again, looking at the details, looking at the logic, focusing in on the tiny little details that really can make the difference. At the same time, when the moon does change later on Sunday, it goes into the 5th gate. It goes into timing. It goes into the flow. The drive will then be, well, am I in my flow? Is this the right time? What is the timing? What is the flow to be involved in? Both of them logical. Both of them about fixing a particular pattern or seeing the pattern. So we're going to be taken into that on Sunday, which could be very interesting. All right. Well, I hope you found this interesting. And if you have, please like, share, and subscribe. And I shall be back again very soon with something completely different. Bye-bye for now.